Love wasn't supposed to happen. Not for Avery Quinn. She had everything planned: her future, her goals, even the way her life would unfold. There was no space for distractions, especially not something as unpredictable as love. And definitely not with a girl. But life has a strange way of rewriting plans. It started on an ordinary day, nothing special, nothing worth remembering, until she met Jade Sullivan. Jade was the kind of person you notice without trying. Confident, effortless, and a little dangerous in the way she smiled like she knew something you didn't. The kind of person Avery would normally avoid. And yet, one unexpected moment, one careless collision, one simple "are you okay?" That was all it took. Because sometimes love doesn't come knocking. Sometimes it crashes into you. And before you realize it, you're already falling. It was a rainy Thursday afternoon, and Avery Quinn was late again. Her umbrella was barely keeping her dry as she rushed across campus, books clutched tightly to her chest. She wasn't paying attention. She never did when she was in a hurry. And then bam, she collided with someone. Books tumbled to the wet ground. Avery's hoodie was soaked, and through the blur of rain, she saw her Jade Sullivan, hair dripping, arms full of scattered notes, looking absolutely furious. "Watch where you're going," Jade snapped, though her voice cracked slightly, betraying a hint of concern. "I'm so sorry," Avery stammered, crouching to help gather the papers. Their hands brushed as they both reached for the same notebook. Sparks, literal and figurative, ran through Avery's veins. Jade's sharp green eyes softened. "Are you okay?" "Yeah, I think so," Avery whispered, feeling her heart thump faster than it should. "I'm Jade," the girl said, holding out a hand despite the rain. "Avery," she replied, shaking it. And just like that, something unspoken passed between them. Something neither of them understood yet. After the rainy day collision, Avery thought she might never see Jade again. But life had other plans. She bumped into Jade the very next week, in the library, sprawled over the same table. Books open, concentration intense. "Hey," Avery said, surprised. Jade looked up and smirked. "Fancy seeing you here?" It became a pattern. Cafeteria, study hall, even the quiet courtyard where Avery liked to think. They kept running into each other, and Avery started to feel curious, intrigued. "You're everywhere," Avery joked one afternoon, sliding into the seat across from Jade. "Maybe you're following me," Jade replied, teasing, eyes sparkling. Avery laughed nervously. Something about Jade's confidence made her heart race. And slowly, she started to look forward to these accidental meetings, because with Jade, even ordinary moments felt extraordinary. One quiet evening, Avery stayed late in the library, buried in her notes. She felt someone sit across from her and glanced up. Jade, of course. "You're still here?" Avery asked, trying to sound casual. Jade smirked, leaning on her elbow. "You could say the same about me." They studied together in silence for a while. But every so often, Avery caught herself staring at Jade's sharp jawline, the way her hair fell perfectly even when damp, the little smile she gave whenever she solved a problem. Avery blinked. "Why am I noticing all this?" she muttered under her breath. "You're staring," Jade said suddenly, raising an eyebrow. Avery jumped. "I'm not." Jade chuckled softly. "Sure, you're weirdly focused." Avery's heart thumped. Something inside her was shifting, something unfamiliar and slightly terrifying. She tried to push it away, but the thought of Jade lingered far longer than it should have. Over the next few days, Avery tried to ignore the feeling. She told herself, "I don't like girls. I just admire her, that's all." But Jade had a way of sneaking into her thoughts. The sound of her laugh, the way she tossed her hair back when she smiled, the small gestures that made Avery's chest tighten. "You've been avoiding me," Jade said one day, catching Avery off guard. I'm just busy," Avery mumbled, looking away. Jade frowned. "Are you sure it's not me?" Avery's stomach twisted. She wanted to say the truth, wanted to admit she was confused, maybe even falling, but the words wouldn't come. So she stayed silent, and the distance grew. Yet deep down, Avery knew one thing: avoiding Jade didn't make the feeling disappear. If anything, it made it stronger. Days passed with Avery keeping her distance. No more lunch together, no more accidental library encounters. She thought it would help, to clear her mind. But instead, everything felt emptier. The hallways felt lonelier. Cafeteria tables weren't as bright. And every time she saw a flash of green eyes in the crowd, her chest tightened. One evening, she found Jade sitting alone under the old oak tree in the courtyard. Rain had stopped, but the air was still damp. "Why are you avoiding me?" Jade asked softly, looking directly at Avery. Avery hesitated. She wanted to explain, but words tangled in her throat. I don't understand what I'm feeling," she admitted finally, voice shaking. Jade's expression softened. "Then don't run from it," she said gently, reaching out to touch Avery's hand. Avery's heart skipped. That simple touch, it said more than words ever could. That night, Avery couldn't sleep. She replayed every moment with Jade, the laughter, the teasing, the accidental touches, the way her heart raced around her. And then it hit her. This wasn't confusion. This wasn't just admiration. This was love. Avery Quinn, the girl who had a plan for everything, had fallen in love. Completely by accident. And the thought of it made her both terrified and exhilarated at the same time. Because now, she couldn't imagine not seeing Jade again. Because she didn't just like her. She needed her. The next day, Avery couldn't focus on anything. Every time she saw Jade, her chest tightened, and her words got stuck in her throat. Finally, she decided she couldn't run from it anymore. She needed to tell her. She found Jade sitting on the courtyard bench, sketching absent-mindedly in her notebook. "Jade, I need to tell you something," Avery said, voice shaking slightly. Jade looked up, her sharp green eyes softening. "Okay, I'm listening." Avery took a deep breath. I think I like you. No, I know I like you. And I can't stop thinking about you. Jade's lips curved into a small smile. "Took you long enough," she said, teasing, though her eyes were warm. Avery blinked. "Wait, I've liked you since the day you crashed into me," Jade admitted, shrugging casually but with a hint of nervousness. Avery's heart skipped. "Seriously?" Jade nodded. "Yeah, worst accident of my life," she teased, "but also the best." Avery laughed, breathless, feeling a weight lift off her chest. From that moment, things felt different. They didn't rush anything. They walked side by side, held hands, shared late-night talks. Every glance, every touch felt electric. One quiet evening, under the soft glow of the streetlights, Jade brushed her fingers against Avery's. "Can I?" Jade whispered, her eyes searching Avery's. Avery smiled, heart pounding. "You don't have to ask." Their first kiss was soft, gentle, and full of everything they'd both been feeling but hadn't said. It was perfect, and for the first time, Avery realized something. Love wasn't supposed to be planned. It was supposed to be felt, and she felt it, fully, completely, with Jade. Avery leaned back against the bench, fingers intertwined with Jade's, and let out a small laugh. "Do you still think it was an accident?" she asked, tilting her head. "What do you mean?" Jade replied, raising an eyebrow. Us," Avery said, squeezing Jade's hand. Jade smiled softly, her thumb brushing over Avery's knuckles. "I think we were meant to meet," she said. Avery laughed, shaking her head. "Even if I literally ran into you?" "Especially because of that," Jade teased, nudging her shoulder playfully. Avery smiled, heart full. She realized that sometimes the most unexpected moments, like a collision in the rain, could change everything. Sometimes love doesn't just happen, it surprises you, and she was grateful for every second of it. Avery used to believe that love had rules, that it could be scheduled, planned, controlled. But with Jade, everything she thought she knew about love changed. Holding hands, laughing together, late-night talks under streetlights, soft kisses that lingered just long enough to make her heart skip. Love didn't follow plans. Love wasn't predictable. Love happened, and sometimes it happens completely by accident. But that was okay, because falling for Jade was the best accident Avery had ever had, and she wouldn't change a thing. Some love stories are written in neat little lines. Some love stories crash into you unexpectedly, and maybe that's the kind of love worth keeping, because sometimes the heart knows even when the mind doesn't. Avery and Jade learned that, and they weren't letting go. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you enjoyed the story, please support this channel so we can create more woman love stories in English. Click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next stories filled with romance, drama, and real love. Every like, share, and comment you leave helps us create more stories that bring inspiration and representation to the WLW community. Thank you so much for listening, and remember, it's never too late to love the person who is truly meant for you.